Hey folks, this is Jadius,
And this is Bass.
and we're in the Wood League, and so are you. And today is our second game of our first ever viewer submissions. This is an epic 2v2, as it's called, between Locust Thera. What is this? Mental Hawk and Chomoze. And this game was submitted by Locust, who is the blue Protoss in the bottom, and his teammate being Thera.
Hey, Jadis, before we get started, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Have you ever noticed that at the beginning of a StarCraft game, when when your main town hall spawns and all your workers spawn, that they spawn like directly between the building and the minerals, and like if you're, I mean, it's just so weird. I was looking at it at the beginning of this game, and since it's a four-player match, I noticed that if the minerals are diagonal, then you'll have some spawn to the left, some spawn to the top. If it's completely flat, they'll all spawn to the right or to the top or to the bottom. Have you ever noticed that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to always, when it is like a kind of a diagonal pattern, it seems to form like an L shape
Exactly.
with your
That's
workers,
what I'm trying to get at.
otherwise straight at. But I don't really know what your question is, Bass.
The question is just, have you ever noticed that? That's all.
I've noticed it, and I think
Pretty
probably
awesome, isn't it?
probably everybody else who's ever played StarCraft 2 has noticed it as well. But it is awesome. I will agree with you.
Well, now, because like I was just when we started up the 2v2 game and we had it paused, I was just looking at all the different bases, and it just dawned upon me. Never has before.
Well, it is definitely awesome. But let's get to the action nonetheless.
So what are the teams here? Is it top versus bottom? I assume it's top versus bottom, since those are the teams that are closest to each other.
Oh, definitely top versus bottom. Blue and red versus purple and teal.
Of course.
It's like a double Terran versus a P and a T.
So what do you think has the advantage here? The double Terran, or the versatility, the diversity of the Protoss Terran team?
Well, I think Protoss is probably a little difficult for a lot of Terrans right now. So the versatility is definitely gonna be interesting. The Terran mirror match is one of the kind of most enigmatic, I think, of the whole StarCraft world right now. A lot of great games coming out of the TVT spectrum. So it's going to be interesting to see what strategy Thera, the red Terran, has in combating a double Terran. That is, if he knows that the opponents are Terran. I don't know if they were random in this match or not.
Yeah, two of the three Terrans choosing to wall off their bases, while Mental Hawk deciding simply to tightly build a base around his mineral line, protect his SCVs, but let units into the back of his base if they so decide to come there.
Yeah, it looks like Mental Hawk probably anticipating a bit of a rush now. Seems to be really forcing out a lot of Marines. Chomoze finishing up his wall. Thera finishing up his wall as well. And looks like we've got double gateways with two Stalkers coming out for the Protoss. So going quickly to Stalkers, which is a popular strategy against Terran.
They're secretly saying nice to his ally. I wonder what he's talking about there. Oh, he's complimenting his build. I suppose this is a random team match. Did the submitter of this replay mention whether it was AT, RT?
No, have no idea. I assume it's probably AT. If he's so happy to send it to us, but really don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if I love at the end of an AT game where someone will blame their ally after losing. It's just hilarious to me.
Very, very common.
And it makes me enjoy defeating them all the more when that happens, of course.
Absolutely. The jerks will always blame something else for their defeat, and especially in a random team situation, gives those jerks fair ground to blame their allies if they thought that they brought them down. But in reality, it takes teamwork here, people. This is 2v2. This is not 1v1 v1 v1 with one person who is just slightly less inclined to kill you. This is 2v2. So Locust
somewhat
saying,
even armies here. A bunch of Marines on the board, a bunch of Stalkers, and a couple Marauders as well.
yeah, the two Terrans going out for M&Ms right away, looking like Red Terran going for the same thing, except for the addition of a factory. Chomoze, the teal Terran, building his factory right now, and still no factory for the purple Terran. Although there are a couple of tech labs on his on his
Yep.
barracks, probably going to.
They're building a quick siege tank here and quickly escaping supply block by doing a supply drop from his orbital command.
Yeah, something I love to do when I hear that really annoying computer voice that I'm run out of supply, or if I notice myself that I'm getting near supply. That supply drop can really be useful in a pinch.
But
And
of course, all go-to players never get supply blocked and should never have to use that drop.
of course not. But yeah, Red Terran going for a quick expand here. Probably, well, maybe not unusual, but it's an interesting strategy considering there are 2 Terrans on the board. You know, you can get a lot of siege tanks out right now. Siege tank rushes pretty popular in 2v2 for double Terran.
Yep.
Double starport right now for Chomoze. Maybe he's thinking about Banshees.
Yeah, Thera's actually got his own siege tank out, but is not yet ready for siege mode. Not yet researching siege, but he's getting a little bit of a, he's starting to build his defense at his expansion. Locust also going for a fast expo. So I guess it's going to be a battle of armies versus economy here, as the top players, Chomoze and Mental Hawk, deciding to go straight for one base armies.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interestingly, Red Terran Theric going for double armory. I don't know if he's planning to move on to Thors. Yes, he is right now building a Thor. Just as I'm saying that, probably. So he's going to try to upgrade his mech as best he can. Go to Thors, possibly anticipating those Banshees.
Yeah, I'm looking at Thera's armories right now. Since he has 2 of them, I really want to see parallel research going on here, or else it's completely not justified to have 2 armies unless they're both researching at the same time.
Yeah, there we go. Parallel research just started there on the red armories. A Thor being researched, another factory being built for simul Thors.
Nice.
Red controlling the 2 Zelnaga watchtowers. They know that there's nothing coming out.
So the fast expansion will allow Thor to build lots of high-tier units very quickly.
Still no expansions for purple and teal. Teal just now building his expansion command center to float off to his natural, probably. Blue pushing out with a couple of stalkers. Purple's going to have a lone scouting marine, and he's going to see that perhaps things are on the way, but Mental Hawk kind of sneaking this marine behind the lines of stalkers, forcing the stalkers all the way back to their base, and delaying the attack for a few minutes here.
Yeah, Locust choosing to chase down this marine, as opposed to just killing it with a probe or something like that. And Chomoze has a couple Banshees out on the board, but not making use of them right now. Oh, here they come. They're coming down the right side of the map. The east side of the map, I suppose, for a little bit of a surprise harass down here. See if they'll be able to make anything of this.
Just waiting for that cloak. It's going to be ready in 5 seconds. Just probably waiting for that cloak. They both have enough energy, so he's going to hit this Protoss, try to get as much worker kills as he can while the cloak lasts.
Yeah, Mental Hawk not getting much support from his ally, except through the air harass. So let's hope, for Purple's sake, for Mental Hawk's sake, that Chomoze will be able to use these Banshees to his advantage and make up for the difference in army size that they've got.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at the production numbers, Chomoze really investing a lot of money into these Banshees. The other players, getting upgrades, getting a number of different units, and really the only thing going on right now for Chomoze is those Banshees. So it's a gamble for him. I don't know if it'll pay off for long, considering that lots of stalkers on the board. A few Thors on their way out, but right now looks like Locust going to try to do some harassment at Purple's side while his army is diverted. A little bit of blink dancing, managed to get a few workers there, but he's going to turn tail now that he knows there's a lot of marauders out on the board. And